All right, guys, we're just going to go ahead and recognize the elephant in the room. I've had some people out there trying to start rumors that I do not wear overalls, and I'm not going to stand for it. So I'm out here sweating my bolos off just to prove that I wear overalls. But y'all saw the thumbnail, read the title, watched the intro. Y'all know that we are talking about this sweet little bitty package right here. Now, before we do get started, full disclosure, and I want to give a thank you to Brownells for supplying this Howa Superlite 6.5 Creedmoor barrel and action, and then JTAC Industries for supplying this Screech Owl ultralight chassis for me to do this video. We're just going to run down the specs of it, then I'm going to compare it to some similar options on the market. I'm going to show you the difference between it and, say, like a regular Howa 1500 action in comparison to the Superlite action. And then we're going to talk about the use cases of this, why I decided to put it together, and of course we're going to shoot it, and I think I'm going to stretch it out to 300 and we'll see if we can get some hits on target. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So as I mentioned, this barrel in action is from Brownells. It is a Howa 1500 Superlite, so it's a 16.25 inch 6.5 Creedmoor barrel in action that you can pick up from Brownells for very little money, and I think it's a fantastic way of doing things if you want to put together a bolt gun. The Howa barrels and actions they're pretty solid for the price that you pay. So starting up here on the front, it is threaded for 1/2x28. I don't have a muzzle device on there right now because I direct thread this rugged Alaskan 360 on there, and we're going to jump into a little bit of that in a minute. But as I mentioned, 6.5 Creedmoor, but it is threaded 1/2x28 because this is a super lightweight profile, as in the name, Superlite. It's a super lightweight profile barrel, pencil thin, really shaves down some weight, but it does get extremely hot, extremely fast. So this is not made to shoot all day with. And then moving down here, obviously it's just the regular Superlite action. So I will throw in some close-ups and a bit of the comparison between this and the regular 1500 action, but it's a slimmed down action. It's a really thin, small, thin bolt. Everything on this barrel in action is designed to be super light, given the name. And then that is dropped into this awesome JTAC Industries Screech Owl. This is for the Superlite, so they make two different versions. They've got this version here, which is like a lightweight version of it. They've also got a version with like a night vision rail. You can do different length fore ends on it. Like I said, you can do the night vision rail on there. And then they've got two different stock options. So they've got this one here, which is the collapsible one, and they've got one that folds and it looks almost like an Accuracy International style stock. Really cool, but it's much heavier. However, I have this Howa 1500 308 right here. So if you want to see the other JTAC Industries chassis option, let me know in the comments and I'll see what strings I can pull and see if I can get that on the channel. And that way y'all can see both versions, the Superlite version, also the a little bit beefier version with the night vision rail and the folding stock instead of the super cool collapsible stock. This is probably my favorite piece of the entire thing. It's a obviously collapsible stock right there, so it kind of locks in place and then you just grip it and rip it. It's got three different options. So you've got three different extended links right there. There's 1, 2, and 3. And if you look at this, you probably think that there would be some play in it, but honestly, there is very minimal movement with this stock option. It's got a bag rider right there with some Picatinny, so really cool. Being able to collapse it down makes it super compact. It takes AICS style mags. I have found out that it doesn't necessarily like the Magpul PMags. I don't know if it's something to do with the polymer feed lips or maybe the little piece that locks in. It doesn't seat in there good. It's really got to force it. But these MDT mags with the metal feed lips, they go up in there and seat perfectly fine. So I've used this one. This is the polymer one with a window. I've also used just the regular steel mags or aluminum mags and just the metal ones, and they work flawlessly as well. Sitting on top of it, I've just got a JTAC Vengeance 1:6 LPVO. It's just an optic that I had on another setup. And as I've mentioned before, my stuff, it moves around quite a bit. I don't have a ton of stuff just sitting there. So a lot of the things that you see, they get put on a rifle and they get shot for a little bit, and then I get a new gun in and the stuff gets moved over. And then I've got stuff sitting there without optics and accessories. But I think it's a cool scope for this rifle. It's fairly lightweight. 1:6 power is enough for what I intend to use this for. And then with this being like a compact sniper rifle, the LPVO having that small objective lens means you get less flash. That's not actually a reason why I chose this, but it's just something that I told myself made it a good option. And then I've put some Wooks micarta scales on both sides. It adds absolutely no weight, but it just gives me a little bit of something to grip onto, some texture, and it kind of rounds out the profile of this forend up here. And then the optic, I forgot to mention, is sitting in some tally rings, and it is a tally scope base that I've got mounted on the receiver. Now just doing some close-ups of the different Howa barrel and actions, and just kind of so you can get an idea of this Superlite profile. Obviously you can see the thickness difference in the barrels. So this top one is it's a pretty thick profile barrel, but it makes this Superlite barrel look pencil thin. And then you can see the actions. It's probably going to be kind of hard to see that, but what I can do is pull out the bolts. Now hopefully you can get an idea of the difference on camera, but here's the regular bolt out of the 1500, and then here's the 6.5 Creedmoor bolt out of the Superlite. These bolts should be the same size if they were the same action, but you can see that Howa has really slimmed down the Superlite bolt as well as the action and the barrel just to make sure that it is a really lightweight setup. But I thought that you might be interested in that, to see the difference in just the thickness and the girth of these bolts. So now going over the weight of this setup, because I'm sure you are interested. Without the optic and without a magazine, so you strip the magazine, and if I was to take off the optic and the rings and it was just the barrel and the action, the chassis and the optics mount, it comes in at 6.76 pounds. So now in comparison to some of the other options on the market, say like the Q-Fix and the Sig Cross, I believe those rifles in the same configuration without an optic, without a magazine, just the barrel, action, chassis, and optics mount, they come in at like 6.4 pounds. So we're about 2.2 pounds heavier with this setup in comparison to 6.5 Creedmoor, Sig Cross, and Q-Fix. With the way I have it set up here with a magazine, so the optic and the magazine, it brings it in to about 8.2 pounds. And then if I add the Rugged Alaskan, that adds another pound. So then we're at 9.2 pounds roughly, give or take, a couple pounds. Just depending on what magazine setup you have, if you've got ammo in it, whatnot. But with a loaded mag and the suppressor, this particular mag, it comes in at like 9.2 pounds. So it's incredibly manageable as far as weight goes. Very similar to the competitors, as I would call them, in the market as far as the weight goes. Now going over the length of this setup with the stock all the way collapsed, and again, this is a 16.25 inch barrel with no muzzle device. It comes in at 28.5 inches overall, and then fully extended, it is 36 inches. So just to give you a comparison with this fully collapsed, this Howa right here is also a 16.25 inch barrel. Let's see, that's out of frame, so we'll just do it this way so that you can see the difference in the overall length of these setups. Let's see, find a good way to do this. All right, so we'll line up the backs of the stocks, and you can see the difference in the length. It's pretty significant you know, there you are right there. So pretty significant difference in the length, which was a priority with this setup, is something really compact and something super lightweight. And then finally, the last spec that we'll talk about is the price. So what does this cost to put together? Take away the optic and the rings, but for the tally, scope base, the barrel and the action from Brownells, and the JTAC Screech Owl chassis, you're coming in right about the 1400 mark, which is almost identical to the Sig Cross, and it is about $2,000 less than the Q Fix. Again, all three are very comparable platforms, and if you're in the market for one, you're probably looking at the other ones as well. But I think this has some unique features, especially this stock right here. That's, to me, that's the coolest part about it, is it collapses down really fast, it extends really fast, and you don't have the extra width, you know, of a folding stock, because that adds some significant width, and it'll typically pretty much double the width of the rifle. So now, talking about the performance that I'm getting out of it. Shooting it is not fun. I'll just go ahead and let you know. This is not something that you're going to want to put together and go shoot all day with, or, you know, have an extensive range day. This setup is very, very purpose driven, and it is 100% utilitarian to me. It fits a very specific need that I had, and it's honestly, it's a tool. Sure, it's kind of fun. You know, it's kind of fun to shoot, but it is extremely painful, because you have got an 8-pound 6.5 Creedmoor right here. That recoil is incredibly sharp. One way to minimize that a little bit is with a muzzle device. So without a muzzle device, it is horrid to shoot, and running 3 or 4 rounds, and my shoulder was already in some pretty good pain. Obviously, a muzzle device is going to help ease that up a little bit. Especially running a suppressor really takes the edge off of the sound, no doubt, but also some of that recoil. It helps tame it down a little bit, and it's fairly pleasant to shoot with a suppressor. But still, it's not something that I would build, you know, for my kid to deer hunt with or anything like that. It's almost, in comparison to like shooting micro 9mm, you need to know what you're getting into when you're shooting that. It's not for everybody, and it's certainly not for inexperienced shooters or smaller statured people. You know, when you start looking at this kind of stuff, you've got to picture it like, you know, one of them old scales where the more you add on this side, the less you get on this side. So I'm decreasing the weight, and so that's going to increase the recoil, no doubt about it. But if you're fairly experienced and you're looking for a really lightweight or a really compact option, I think this could be really cool. And fun fact, these Howa Superlite actions, the 6.5 Creedmoor actions, can be rechambered to 338 arc, and I think that will be super cool, especially suppressed, having a really compact 338 arc with a can on it, and this style package I think could be a really cool setup. So what did I build this for? Well, I think it should be pretty obvious. I wanted something really lightweight and something really compact for hunting with. I typically do a couple mountain hunting trips here in South Carolina every year, and we end up putting on some miles in our mountains and doing several thousand feet of elevation change over the course of about a day or two. And I wanted something really compact, something really lightweight that I could toss in a pack and, you know, not have the strain on my arms or my shoulders of carrying it. Toss it in a good pack and you hardly notice that it is there. But with a 16¼ inch 6.5 Creedmoor barrel, getting plenty of energy out to about 300 yards, which was the ideal distance for this, was something from 0 to 300 yards. And again, this is very use specific. So it's, for me, as hunting, is something that I'm planning on taking 1, maybe 2 shots. You could also throw that into another role of some sort of sniper position, to where you're only going to need to take 1 or 2 shots, or maybe this is kind of like a backup and the opportunity might arise to where you'll need to take a farther shot and you need a little bit more energy. So you could run this in a pack, and should the need arise, you can quickly deploy it and you've got a little bit of extra firepower from, say, your standard 5.56 carbine. I think that could be a really cool use for this as well. Again, it fits in a backpack no problem and doesn't take up much space, and it doesn't weigh hardly anything. However, I do recommend adding a suppressor to it if you want to tame it just a little bit, because I can promise you, shooting it without any muzzle device is not a pleasant experience at all. However, we're going to do it just for the video purposes. And then I'm going to run it suppressed. We're going to shoot it a little bit here. I'll throw on the trigger cam. Hopefully it's charged up so you can watch the footage of that. And then I will, I guess, trek a target out to the 300-yard line, and we'll go send some rounds up there and see if we can get some impacts on steel. Today's video is made possible by Modern Warriors. They've got locations in Utah and Tennessee. They've also got a fantastic online store. So if you're looking for anything related to anything in this video, definitely check out Modern Warriors. They got blasters. They got things that come out of blasters. They got things that go on the end of blasters. They've got blaster accessories. They've got it all. High-end stuff, low-end stuff, middle-end stuff. I'm telling you, they've got it all. They're the ones who I got my CZ Shadow 2 carry through. So if you're interested in that pistol or another pistol, or maybe you want to gift me like a really high-end 2011, that would be great. You can go to Modern Warriors and do that. All right, I got it recording. Telling you, same fun. It is not a fun gun to shoot without a can on it. It ain't even all that fun to shoot with a can on it, but it's super neat and it's got a cool use. But here we go. Let's see, we'll just hit that popper right there. Let's see, you got a small silhouette down there. Can we get that one? Oh, we missed it. I'm only doing 3 rounds with this, but I've got my hand up here on the barrel and it's already pretty hot, and after this 3rd round, it's gonna be hotter than I actually want to touch. Let's see, we got that far one down there. Oh, we missed it. I'm telling you, I'm jumpy shooting this thing, honestly. All right, so I've got the can thrown on it. We got 10 rounds loaded up, so we'll shoot 10 here, you know, on the 100-yard range, and then we'll throw a target up at 300 and shoot the rest there. But yeah, this barrel is pretty scorching hot. Let's hit the little swinger right here. See, that's much more pleasant. Let's hit that popper again. Let's hit that plate. Down. That one wasn't hanging up, it was just sitting there because I busted the eyes off of it and it would no longer hang. And that's why now I'm switching all of my targets over to TA targets. So a lot of them that you see out here now are from TA targets. They hold up better than anything else. Best steel targets on the market, without a doubt. Let's see, I can't see, my glasses are fogging up. See, I want to hit that little guy right there. Got him. See, can we hit the little circle, 4-inch circle? All right, what happened there? I might have filled up the card. All right, I think that's all that was. All right, so we're gonna try to hit that postcard down there. A little bitty target. Got it. Well, let's stretch it out to the a little bit farther plate. This thing is really not that bad with a can on it. You just got to make sure, you know, that you're on the gun pretty good. Go for a headshot here. think it's zeroed a little bit to the right. All right, that's it right there. Yeah, with the suppressor, it's not nearly as bad as just running a regular, you know, just a plain barrel up there. That's pretty brutal. But with the suppressor, it tames it down quite a bit. So I'm gonna go throw up a target at 300 yards, and then we'll drive up to the top, and we'll see if we can stretch this thing out to the max intended distance for this rifle. All right, now I'm gonna go from a kneeling position because the ground is absolutely soppy wet. But I do have that big white silhouette set up right there. Should be pretty doggone easy to see. Throw a mag in it. Now, if I've done my math right, which is almost never the case, I think that the drop is somewhere between 20 and 24 inches. But I've got 10 rounds loaded up, so we should be able to figure it out. But I don't have a chronograph, so I wasn't actually able to get the velocity. I just done a little bit of math. So let's see. Well, I just now finished recording and got in the car, got everything loaded back up, and I realized the mistake that I was making. I'm using a second focal plane MOA scope, and I said my drop should be 20 to 24 inches, and then I was holding 20 and 24 MOA at 300 yards. So yes, I was sending these rounds way over top of it. And in just a little bit, you'll see me make the correction, and I start holding somewhere between 6 and 8 MOA at 300 yards, which would be right there around that 20 to 24 inches of drop. So my math was somewhat right, but I had a total brain fart in this heat, and I'm pouring sweat and running around out here, and I just made a total mess up. Don't make the mistakes I make. But I left it in there because you need to see, hey, this is legit, this is real, and I ain't going to try to be something that I'm not. I ain't going to try to pretend to be something that I'm not. I made a big mistake right here and sent a lot of rounds way over top of the target, right on into the trees. So be conscious of the equipment that you're using, get good at using it, and make sure that you don't have a big brain fart and forget how to use your stuff. All right, I'm really, really shaky right now. See if I can stable up some. I tried 24. So you're getting incredibly hot angle on the front of it. Alright, come on, get sick. Yeah, I could be on top of it. Let's try holding up 16. No. I think I'm sitting there probably listening to what is round sound, so I gotta travel a little further. Let's see. There we are. Yeah, I was way off. Alright, we got it. Way over the back. There we are. Yeah, I was way off. All right, we got it. Way, way off. Let me load up another mag. Alrighty. Yeah, nowhere near 20 or 24 inches. I don't know what the crap I done wrong. I told you, my math is very rarely right. Let's see, I think we were only holding like 12. But no. Let's see. Hey. I know we're holding. There we are. Alright, so I think we're holding about 6 to 4. Really, really wobbly. Let's see if I can spot these heads. I think they're going slightly low. Alright, let's load up 10 more. See if we can get it. This barrel is heating up. I'm talking like scorching hot. See the mirage coming off of it. Can't hardly hold on. So hot. Even the chassis is now getting hot. Slip on that one. Can't find it, guys. Struggling. I'm struggling bad right now. When I hit it, it hits hard. I just can't seem to hit it consistently. Alright guys, how good gosh almighty. Oh, that thing is scorching. Doggone. This thing hurts to hold on to. But anyways, obviously had some trouble out there at 300, but I think we finally got some consistency and I kind of know my hold. But man, this thing is just absolutely scorching hot to hold on to. That was a lot of rounds through this little bitty thin profile barrel in a very short amount of time. But if you've got any questions about it, definitely let me know in the comments. If you want to see the other version of the JTAC chassis, definitely let me know that as well. Just let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can get pulled together and see if I can get that on the channel, even if it's just for a loaner setup, just to do a quick run over for you guys. Be sure to check the description down there. I'll have a link section that might save you a little bit of, a little bit of value with a couple different things. Got to be kind of discreet. I'll also have my Instagram link down there as well if you want to make sure that you're a part of all the action going on. If you were following me over there, then you have already seen this little setup over there. So if you want to, like I said, just stay a part of all the action going on and get first look at new setups, then definitely check out the Instagram account over there. It's the exact same name, Operator Overalls, one word. Now, I think that's all I have for you. I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you on the next one.